episode of Tower of God was so unique, so different, presentation wise. Everything about this episode was really unique. I liked it a lot. And I don't know if I'm just mind boggled at how everything came about in this episode or with this series, because I didn't hear really nothing about it, nor did I see any trailer. The only thing I saw was pretty much the cover picture for it, and then I saw two characters, and I believe that was Bam and Rachel. I haven't seen no trailers. I haven't seen anything prior to watching this episode. So when I went into watching this episode, it was pretty much blindly. Like, I'm going into this episode blindly, hoping that it's going to be something good, hoping that it's going to keep my eye, keep my basically entertainment. Is it going to be something that's really going to progress not only me as a YouTuber while reviewing and live reacting to it, because, yes, progress me, but how much is it going to progress the story in just that one episode? Can it really get me as a viewer? And honestly, it's safe to say that it did. Tower of God got me, and then it hooked me, and now I'm there. There's so much I want to talk about, but I won't go that much in depth just because this episode was just filled with so much stuff, and I want to just kind of cover on everything and try to make sense of what's happening, even though, again, I went into this episode, into this series blindly. I don't know anything about anything, honestly. I really don't. The only things I know is what I seen, and what I seen was really dope. It's very unique. Again, presentation-wise, out of this charts. The world is out of this charts. Everything about it. That's the praise is endless. I'm gonna say that. I haven't seen something like this in a long while. Now, the reason why I say that is because the originality, the creativity. Like, I see a lot of similarities maybe to like the Magi thing when Magi goes into the dungeon. That's kind of like where it's similar, except for this tower. Like, the tower, like, there is no climbing in a sense. Like, you disappear and then you go into another tower. Like, it's weird. It's very, very, very visually weird. While the dungeons in Magi, you go inside them, and yeah, while you are technically going to a different world that holds so much treasure and all this stuff, it's just that. It's just that dungeon. With the tower, you're going and ascending levels, but you're not really like it. I can't even explain it. Like, you're not just ascending those levels. Like, everything else with you is ascending as well. I don't know. It's very, very interesting. All I know is it starts with two main characters, I believe. One of the characters' name is Bam. The other character name is Rachel. So what I got from this first episode for Bam and Rachel, two different goals. Bam is essentially trying to not necessarily rescue Rachel, but he wants to essentially, be with Rachel. He doesn't want to leave Rachel. I think he likes Rachel, okay? But Rachel, she don't want to live in a dark world. And it seems like to me, like, the only hope of salvation, the only hope to have hope and faith and all that stuff is to clear the Tower of God, to basically climb all the way up to the Tower of God, essentially be God yourself, have everything you want, because right now the world that they live in, that's the only thing they can do, okay? That's the only thing they want to do, essentially. Rachel literally said, I am done living in this dark world. I am going to climb the tower. So this must have been something that Bam and Rachel talked about for a long time, but they're like, we're not going to do it. Rachel got fed up. She says, I'm climbing the tower. Bam did so. When that happened, he essentially said, I'm going to climb the tower too, but he had to go through a test. He had to ascend the levels. This is where things got really different, really weird, but very unique at the same time. We see other characters coming in like a Hedon, the caretaker of the Tower of God, pretty much, at least for the first level, at least. I'm not sure. I just know he's a caretaker of the Tower of God. And then we see a girl named Yuki, who's the princess of Jihad. She gives her sword, I believe it's called like Black March or whatever like that. She gives her sword to my boy Bam. Now, Bam uses this sword when he goes inside and tries to crack the ball. Not only crack the ball, but he has to somehow do it while getting away from this giant eel. He goes inside and he gets eaten by the eel, tears up the eel's mouth so the eel can essentially die at first, and then he tries to go stab the ball. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. Instead, he calls out the name of the sword. he pretty much says like, can you please let me lend your power? Yuki didn't even notice. The Princess of Jihad, somebody like, and the reason why I keep saying Princess of Jihad, because it seems like her stature is high. There's apparently royals in there, royal families in there. There's kings, there's queens. Apparently, there's so much stuff in Tower of God, and Princess of Jihad, Yuki is only one of the higher forms of those powers, essentially. So when Bam answers to the sword and she grants him his power, he ends up passing that level, and he goes to the second level where he has to kill him and 200 other people have to kill 200 people to ascend to the next level, because there was 400 regulars. That's what they call them, regulars. There was 400 regulars. They have to kill over 200. This is where things get shaky. Rachel, I don't know where she's at. She was helping somebody get out of a dirt or a deep hole or whatever, and she's laying down with somebody. And then one of the swords, I don't know her name, but she says to Bam, and this is where it's confusing, like maybe time just works differently in the Tower of God, but she literally says like, she's going to be different. She's not going to be the same person you've seen. Some time probably has passed. So I'm thinking weeks, months, days, years. How much time has passed? Because she literally left and Bam was right away. But we didn't see how she went to how she went. We don't know how she went to where she went. So all we know is Bam is trying to get to where she's going. That's the only thing we know. Okay? So Bam essentially has this sword. Now he has a brand new sword power. Yuki's following. She's upset because when Bam called out to the sword responded, gave power. But Yuki said, I tried to do that, never did it do it. It seems like all she wanted was a man and not a woman. And now she's following Bam. So now we have more of characters coming in together. We also got like 3 other characters surrounding, I believe, Bam because of his sword. It's going to be interesting. All I know is everything, again, from the visual to the presentation to the dialogue, everything was really nice. The only thing that was kind of weird for me was the animation. The art was very rough, but somebody was telling me that this animation, this rough art style is reminiscent to the first couple chapters, or really like the first 10, 20 chapters of Tower of God. So they're trying to play with that. They're trying to play to that really well by truly adaptating it correctly, because apparently the art style is completely better, way better, way better. So to me, the art style or animation was great, phenomenal, and there was a nice amount of fluidness, and then there's some things that really reminded me of like manga anime. So again, this is very great, very different. I'm excited and I cannot wait to see more of Tower of God. Again, I believe it comes out every Wednesday, 10:30. Please expect a review and a reaction. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please let me know what you guys think. And yeah, until then, I'll see you guys later.